You say hi to Claude Code and boom, rate limited until this afternoon. That's not a joke, that's a Tuesday on the $20 plan. Somebody just spent over 1,000 hours inside this thing and published everything he learned. I watched all 22 minutes so you don't have to. I checked the parts that were wrong. There were several. And what's left is 7 things that actually change your output. 2 of them are free. One of them explains why your Claude gets dumber every single hour. Here's the whole thing in 10 minutes. First, the honest part. Claude Code has over 100 / commands. Most of them are configuration, and a few exist so that somebody could write a changelog entry. So no, we're not going through all of them. 7, ranked, and I'll tell you which ones you can ignore forever. The ranking comes from 1,000 hours of use. The fact-checking is mine, against the actual documentation, and where the 2 disagree, it says so on screen. Number 1, /init, and the CLAUDE.md file. Claude reads your repo and writes itself an instructions file for the project. Tier C. Yes, C, it works. It's just not the thing that saves you. What actually helps is what you put in there by hand, your code style, and the small rules you're tired of repeating. His favorite, never use all caps in a user-facing design, because models love shouting for no reason. Mine, no emoji in commit messages. Then 2 things nobody tells you. Claude Code still doesn't read agents.md on its own, but 1 import line, and it does. And there's a second memory system running underneath. Claude keeps its own notes about your project and reloads them every session, whether you asked for it or not. As for the file you write by hand, if it vanished tonight, you'd survive. Number 2, skills. This one is S tier, and it's not close. A skill is a folder with a skill.md file in it, describing a job you do over and over, how you review code, how you research a library, how you ship a migration. Claude pulls it in when it's relevant, or you call it by name. Claude Code ships with a dozen or so, code review and security review among them. But the real unlock is that other people publish theirs. Engineers who are better than you at one specific thing, writing down exactly how they do it in a file you're allowed to read. That's the part nobody says out loud. A skill is documentation for you, not only for the model. And unlike an MCP server, skills are cheap. Only a 1-line description sits in your context until Claude actually opens one. So the limit isn't how many you install, it's contradiction. 2 skills that disagree, and Claude just picks one. Number 3, plan mode. Shift+Tab cycles the permission modes until your status bar says plan mode on, or you skip the cycling and type /plan. Claude then reads more carefully, writes the full plan, and shows you that plan before touching a single file. Approve or reject. Why it matters. Catching a bad idea in a 12-line plan takes 10 seconds. Catching the same bad idea in 3,000 lines across 12 files takes your entire evening. Use it for anything big, and don't use it to rename a variable. That's paying tokens for ceremony. And the pattern everybody quotes, expensive model plans and cheap model builds, you don't have to wire that up yourself. /model opusplan. Opus writes, Sonnet types, 1 setting, 1. Number 4, and if you keep one single thing from this video, keep this one, verification. Claude has no idea whether its code works. It writes something, it tells you it's done, and done is a feeling, not a fact. So give it a way to check itself. Here's my rule, not theirs. Ask for the tests first, then the implementation. Let it code first and test after, and it writes tests that pass its own bugs. That's not testing, that's grading your own homework. Then type checkers and linters in the same sentence as the word done. And if you're doing front-end work, Claude is blind by default, but blindness is a setting. Launch it with --Chrome, and it reads your DOM, your console errors, and its own screenshots. There's even a skill shipped for this. /verify drives your actual app, not your test suite. Number 5, MCP. It's how Claude reaches the things that aren't your code. GitHub, your database, Slack, your analytics, a browser. Tier A. And here's the line that saves people a lot of noise. You need an MCP when Claude has to touch something outside the repo. You need a skill when it only has to know something. Best practices for writing a migration? That's a skill. Actually running that migration against staging? That's an MCP, and every server you add still pays rent in your context, less than it used to, since the tool schemas are deferred now. But when a command line tool already exists, AWS, use the tool. That one costs nothing at all. Number 6, the one about money. Claude doesn't count your prompts, it counts tokens. Every message you send, every file it opens, every word it writes back. And it resends the whole conversation every single time. So a one-line question in a session you've had open all day bills you for the whole day. Then there's the part nobody warns you about. Past a certain point, more context makes Claude worse. Anthropic's own documentation tells you to compact when context starts affecting performance, and warns that a bloated instructions file reduces how well Claude follows it. My read, a bigger context window doesn't remove that zone. It just gives you more room to fall into it. So, one task, one session. Clear between tasks. Kill research tangents the second you notice them, because every file it opens is money. And be stupidly specific. The docs say it themselves. Vague requests trigger broad scanning. And you don't have to guess about any of this. 2 commands. /context shows you what's eating your window right now, and it suggests what to cut. /usage breaks your consumption down by skill, by sub-agent, by MCP server, so you can see which of your clever setups is quietly costing you the most. Then there's the one that surprises everybody, cache misses. Your context is cached, and that cache expires. An hour on a subscription, 5 minutes if you're burning credits, which means the first message after a long lunch reprocesses everything. Same question, several times the price. And when Claude compacts the conversation by itself mid-task, it does tell you. One line, easy to miss. Don't start over, you'd lose the task. Get ahead of it. Compact with a focus, before the long stretch. Number 7 is a bundle. The small stuff nobody mentions. /voice, hold space, talk, and what you said becomes the prompt. It's the fastest way to be specific because you explain more out loud than you ever type, and the transcription itself doesn't cost you a single token. Shell mode. Start your line with a bang and you're in a normal terminal, except the output lands in Claude's context, and Claude answers it. Run bang NPM test, and you get your failures explained without typing a second prompt. /BTW for a side question the conversation never sees. /teleport to pull a web session back into your terminal. And yes, there's lo-fi radio built in. /radio, F tier for productivity, S tier for vibes. Then there's the automation layer, which is where this stops feeling like autocomplete. 3 flavors, and people mix them up constantly. /loop repeats a task while your session is open. A scheduled task runs on your machine. A routine runs in the cloud, laptop closed. So the famous one, every morning it picks an open issue and leaves you a pull request. That's a routine. /loop dies with your terminal. Sub-agents. The main chat spawns smaller Claudes, each with its own fresh context, each doing one job, each reporting back a summary. Running a fleet does multiply your usage, but a sub-agent can also cut your bill because you can put it on the cheap model, and its verbose output never touches your main window. And worktrees, one flag, -- worktree, and every chat gets its own checkout on its own branch. 3 agents at once, no collisions. The worktree is free. Just add a .worktree include file, or your environment file stays behind. Quick reality check, because this is the part I agree with the hardest. The AI crowd recently discovered a revolutionary technique, running the same prompt over and over until the job is done. We have a name for that. It's a for loop. It's been in every language for 50 years. And yes, the good version / goal has a second model judging when to stop. It's still a loop. That's not a dunk on anyone. It's the entire argument for learning to code. If you can't read code, you can't tell a real new pattern from the same old idea in a different font. And you definitely can't tell when the model is confidently wrong. So make it explain what it changed instead of smashing accept. And when you've smashed accept 11 times too many, /rewind puts your code and your conversation back where they were. Recap, skills and verification are the two that change your output. Plan mode and worktrees pay for themselves. Context discipline is what keeps you off the rate limit screen. And if Claude Code isn't your tool, Codex, OpenCode, and Cursor all run these same ideas. The concepts move, the tool doesn't matter. Full credit to the coding Sloth for the 1,000 hours. Link in the description. Next one, the sub-agent setup that doesn't eat your entire limit.